first one is anarcho-capitalist, of which I'm one, and we say that the essence of libertarianism is the non-aggression principle. Keep your mitts to yourself. Don't invade or aggress against anyone else. And since the government necessarily does it, we're all anarchists. The second group, and I guess the most famous people there would be Murray Rothbard. The second group would be minarchists, minimal government libertarians, and the most famous people there would be Ayn Rand and Robert Nozick, and they also adhere to the non-aggression principle, as do all libertarians, but I don't think they're as logically consistent. And what they say is that we should have minimal government, and the government should just have armies to keep foreign bad guys off of us, police to keep local bad guys off of us, and courts to determine who the good guys and the bad guys are. The third group, and I'm in descending order in terms of purity in my view, the third one would be constitutionalist libertarians like Ron Paul, who believe in the U.S. Constitution, and I would even include Rand Paul in this too, and pretty much anything the Constitution says is what libertarianism is all about. And the fourth group I would call classical liberals, Milton Friedman and Friedrich Hayek. Those people certainly agree with minimal government, night watchman libertarianism, but they would add more. Welfare programs, vouchers, other things like that. So that would be the four breakdowns. So if you heard from any one of those four, the other three would say, well, he's not really a libertarian. Whereas in my view, they're all libertarians. Libertarian is a many-splendored thing. There are many mansions, and I'm a big tent kind of a guy. Now, to answer your question finally, the difference between consequentialist and deontological libertarianism is a consequentialist is sort of like utilitarian. What the consequentialist or utilitarian libertarians say is, if you follow the non-aggression principle, that's the route to human happiness. We'll all be happier if people keep their mitts to themselves and government is either non-existent or very limited. Whereas the deontological libertarians are much more logical. It's not that the other people are illogical, but it's based on logic. Namely, we deduce from the non-aggression principle plus homesteading for private property rights, and wherever that leads us, even, justice though the heavens fall, we don't care about utility. We only care about rights. So the deontological libertarian would talk about rights, and the utilitarian or consequentialist libertarian would talk about human happiness, also as emanating from the non-aggression principle.
And you are a consequentialist, is that it?
No, I'm a deontological libertarian, and I'm also an anarcho-capitalist. So there are two different dimensions, so to speak, and those are my two positions.
So let me ask you about this. I mean, just in terms of the non-aggression principle, how in the world that you imagine, how does one maintain property rights?
Well, in my view as a anarcho-capitalist, there would be private defense agencies that had police forces or armies, and if you stole my wallet, for example, let's say, and my wallet is legitimately mine, I would call the police. I would call the private police agency, and they would come get you and, make you disgorge the wallet and punish you according to libertarian punishment theory. If I were a minarchist, I would just call the government and I'd say, hey, Sam stole my wallet. Go get him.